All right, we're on to Course of Miracles, Workbook Lesson 10. My thoughts do not mean anything. My thoughts do not mean anything. This idea applies to all the thoughts of which you are aware or become aware in the practice periods. The reason the idea is applicable to all of them is that they are not your real thoughts. We have made this distinction before and will do so again. You have no basis for comparison as yet. When you do, you will have no doubt that what you once believed were your thoughts did not mean anything. This is the second time we have used this kind of idea. The form is only slightly different. This time the idea is introduced with, quote, my thoughts, unquote, instead of, quote, these thoughts, unquote, and no link is made overtly with the things around you. The emphasis is now on the lack of reality of what you think you think. This aspect of the correction process began with the idea that the thoughts of which you are aware are meaningless outside rather than within, and then stressed their past rather than their present status. Now we are emphasizing that the presence of these, quote, thoughts, unquote, means that you are not thinking. This is merely another way of repeating our earlier statement that your mind is really a blank. To recognize this is to recognize nothingness when you think you see it. As such, it is the prerequisite for vision. Close your eyes for these exercises and introduce them by repeating the idea for today quite slowly to yourself. Then add, this idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. The exercises consist, as before, in searching your mind for all the thoughts that are available to you without selection or judgment. Try to avoid classification of any kind. In fact, if you find it helpful to do so, you might imagine that you are watching an oddly assorted procession going by, which has little, if any, personal meaning to you. As each one crosses your mind, say, my thought about blank does not mean anything. My thought about blank does not mean anything. Today's thought can obviously serve for any thought that distresses you at any time. In addition, 5 practice periods are recommended, each involving no more than a minute or so of mind searching. It is not recommended that this time period be extended, and it should be reduced to half a minute or less if you experience discomfort. Remember, however, to repeat the idea slowly before applying it specifically, and also to add, this idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. So that last line was in italics, and also connected, another line in italics is, this idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. Well, it's the same sentence. This idea, what is the idea? My thoughts do not mean anything. So this is a way to, you could say, I'm gonna, add a little something here. This is a way to paradox. What is paradox? Paradox is a Greek word meaning para, beyond, dox, belief. Going beyond belief. I think one of the basic ideas in the Course is that reality is totally beyond what we think and our belief system. And what Jesus seems to be wanting to help us to do is to free ourselves from the limitation of thought and conception. Why? Because if we want to understand reality, if we want to be in that state of knowing versus perceiving, then we have to be willing to release. Ultimately, we have to be willing to release any thought that is in the way. And our belief systems, I'm also adding this, but I think there's basis for this in the Course, which is, why do we believe what we believe in the first place? ultimately, when we hang on to beliefs, it's because we want to believe those things. Why do we want to believe what we believe? Because we're generally fear, right? We're afraid to let our belief system or our beliefs go, because what would we be without those beliefs? That's the fear. Another fear, which I think is a big one, and I don't think we can discount, is our own ego investment in our beliefs being right and another belief being wrong. So if that we were to let go of a belief, we would lose face. We see that, in this world. Obviously, it happens a lot. We would not publicly admit that we're wrong about something, or change or even change our beliefs, even in the face of overwhelming evidence that our beliefs might not be the complete truth, because it would be personally humiliating to do that. and who wants to be the fool, right? Everybody plays the fool, no exception to the rule. We all are fools. And you got to pity the fool. No. I'm slipping into my stand-up act here. This is the opposite of making our mind making our mind blank. Jesus is saying our mind is blank. He kind of puts another spin on it, which is your mind is blank. Your thoughts don't mean anything. It's already blank. The other thing we can point out is that this is similar to witnessing in like the Eastern traditions, where you just sit and you just observe and witness, not without judgment, the thoughts. You don't attach anything to any meaning to the thoughts. You just watch them. You just observe them impartially, non-judgmentally, not making a thought right or wrong, just observing it. Anyway, I think maybe that's all for right now, for today. We'll go on. I was just listening to the Circle of Atonement's take on non-duality. I didn't get through all of it, but I'm going to do another video right now about non-duality or not non-duality and A Course in Miracles. If you're interested, you can listen to the video, and that's coming soon too. Thank you so much. See you soon. Lesson 11 tomorrow. Adios.